The end-time prophecies include Iran. Did you know the connection between the Iranian Revolution and the Ethiopian Revolution and the French Revolution and the Russian Revolution and the godless and cruel dragon known as the Illuminati, the revolution makers? Did you know?
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program, for from that scrutiny comes understanding, and from that understanding comes support or opposition, and both are necessary. I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. For I have complete confidence in the response and dedication of our citizens whenever they are fully informed. I not only could not stifle controversy among your readers, I welcome it. This administration intends to be candid about its errors. For as a wise man once said, an error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We intend to accept full responsibility for our errors, and we expect you to point them out when we miss them. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy. And that is why our press was protected by the First Amendment, the only business in America specifically protected by the Constitution, not primarily to amuse and entertain, not to emphasize the trivial and the sentimental, not to simply give the public what it wants, but to inform, to arouse, to reflect, to state our dangers and our opportunities, to indicate our crises and our choices, to lead, mold, educate, and sometimes even anger public opinion. This means greater coverage and analysis of international news, for it is no longer far away and foreign, but close at hand and local. It means greater attention to improved understanding of the news, as well as improved transmission. And it means, finally, that government at all levels must meet its obligation to provide you with the fullest possible information outside the narrowest limits of national security. And so it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.
Reggae music is a people music, you know, reggae music is news. It's news about your own self, your own history, things that you wouldn't really, they wouldn't teach in a school, you understand? Because they wouldn't tell you that Rastafari is God, you know what I mean? And yet the Bible tell you that within 2,000 years Christ shall return, and when he return, he's going to be King of Kings, Lords of Lords, conquering Lion of tribe of Judah. Through the lineage of King Solomon and King David. Now that is a reality, the whole truth, and the truth is that His Majesty is earth's rightful ruler. And he is the Christ, and that is Haile Selassie I the first. If His Majesty should come to Jamaica, millions and all the people that come out to see him. I will say to the people, man, be still and know that His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia, is the Almighty. The Lion of Judah shall break every chain. The Lion of Judah shall break every chain. Yeah. The Lion of Judah shall break every chain. Hey, hey, hey. Give us some victory again and again. Freedom to me is when the people unite. Freedom means I must be free within myself. My mind must be free. The only way my mind can be free is when I praise Rastafari. The conquering lion shall break every chain. The conquering lion shall break every chain. The conquering lion shall break every chain. Give us some victory again and again. Selassie I is the King of Kings on earth. No, which guy on earth rich like the King of Kings?
JFK, he was that Antipas that Revelation chapter 2 verse 13 speaks about, because here at the railway station where he greets His Imperial Majesty, who visited D.C., Washington, D.C. in 1963, 50 days now, note this, 50 days before Kennedy would be assassinated in the Lone Star State. So it's a very important word that Kennedy, a testimony that this Antipas, remember Kennedy was a Catholic nominally speaking, so we have to go back to the root of this. Therefore we have to learn and understand history, because the prophecies are fulfilled in the history. So history will reveal to us the mystery of God in Christ. So stay tuned for this. It's very, very important that you get to understand this if you are willing.